There are a lot of things that I really like about MyOpenMath as a homework system. One of the key features that really appeals to me is the ability to remix or copy and edit existing questions or build my own from scratch. And we're going to start talking about that idea now of how we can copy and edit an existing question. So if we use the gear icon to the right of an assignment and head into the questions, we can see a list of questions that we've already added, or we can search the library for questions. Questions that are already added to our assessment will have a series of 3 vertical dots to the right on the right hand side. We can click on that, which will give us the option to view the code for this question. We'll talk more in depth about what all of this information is, but it's a nice way to sort of quickly look at how this question was created, what's happening with the randomization of numbers in the background, things like that. So you can decide if this is a question that you want to fiddle with, to remix or revise to better suit your purposes. If so, you have a couple of different options. Again, for a question that's already in your assessment, you can edit a personal copy. If you do that, then this copies the question in your assessment and replaces the original with the copy that you create. So what would happen is we would swap this existing question out for whatever modified version we create. That is very similar to the idea of creating a template, except if we choose the template option, the original question remains in our assessment, but we still get a copy of that question that we can revise and remix to, again, better suit our purposes. If we're looking at questions from the libraries that we haven't added to our assessment yet, there's a drop-down arrow next to the preview button that we can select that will allow us to view the code for that question or create a template from that question, which again is creating a copy of that question. And then once we make any revisions, we'll have the option to add that to our assessment. As a quick demonstration, we'll just go ahead and select template for question 6 that's already in our assessment. We can see in the description for the assessment, the original description remains, but it adds some language at the end to let us know that we've created a copy. We have the option to change that language as much or as little as we want. But now we have a copy of this question that we own, and we can manipulate and change to whatever purposes suit our needs. So, for instance, maybe it would be something as simple as, instead of this being about goals scored, it could be changing the language of the problem to say that the following are movies watched by a class of students, and obviously there's some more language that I would need to update in there. So there's very simply just changing some of the language of the problem, or as we go through subsequent videos, we'll look at manipulating more of the information, what's called the common control, and other settings to manipulate how values are being generated and how the question itself is controlled.